camp, Jeff Saturday, he's watching us punters and kickers over on the sideline, and we're probably drinking Gatorade as their blood, sweat, and tears and doing all of their stuff. And I remember Saturday coming over to the sideline and goes, man, I wish I was a kicker every day except for Sunday.
Come on, the Colts win!
I think clutch is the word that's always going to be affiliated with Adam.
He had ice in his veins. Being up against the wall, he would just walk out there like he was practicing.
If you have one kick in the big game, one kick, he would have been a Terry.
I enjoyed those situations to a certain degree, and I could just really zone into my little 3-yard by 3-yard box. Everything else was blocked out. I really just tried to block out, this kick means we win or lose, or we continue in the playoffs, or we're packing up our lockers, or whatever. The outcome is the outcome, but you can affect how the ball flies.
If you would have learned that you were going to be a pro footballer, if someone says that to you, what do you think? What would you have said?
I would have probably laughed at him, to be honest with you. You know, small town kid from South Dakota, you know, you think that nobody will ever find you, but I'm here to tell you, anybody can do anything if you work hard enough. Being in South Dakota, I was just like, man, I hope I make it in the league a couple of years and have that opportunity, make a couple bucks and kind of go on in life. But football's brought me so many blessings. I couldn't even imagine the road that ended up being.
I was wildly lucky to be able to hold the balls of the man who would go down to be the greatest of all time. So I knew I was going to try to learn as much as possible, but also not mess it up.
McAfee and I always tried to practice as difficult as possible.
Wet ball, blowing, going outside in the snow, everything like that. I think I would have been okay with kicking indoors every once in a while. But if there was an opportunity to get outside and kick, we were doing that.
If it was a windy day, I'd want to kick into the wind.
I mean, can we go maybe kick with the wind today? And he's like, absolutely not. Let's go battle Mother Nature here and see if we can beat it. It's like, I can't. He could, though, and that's why he's a Hall of Famer.
When you play with him out there, it just sort of changes kind of how you approach things, and it sure was nice having that guy in your bullpen at all times, knowing he could come out there and make a long kick.
I wanted my teammates and my coaches to say, man, he does it in practice every week, every day. Let's do it in the game.
Buffalo Bills.
Terry streaking back right, and it is good.
Bends that thing. That's been practiced, and that's a man with the biggest, most difficult kicks in his resume that were practiced and rehearsed in the worst conditions every time.
You know, Adam, he had no ego. Game-winning touchdown sounds great. I can sit over here and hang out. And I think that told you a lot about his unselfish attitude. When I think about Adam Vinatieri, I think about a great teammate.
When we talked to Peyton yesterday, the first thing that he said about you, great teammate.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's emotional because, you know, that's the thing that you wanted to be. You wanted to be a great teammate. Throughout my entire career, I was surrounded with some of the best athletes in the world, and watching other guys, you know, Peyton, for instance, what a great leader, right? He not only made himself better, but he elevated everybody else around him. And that's kind of what I tried to do in my little realm, right? I tried to give my best in practice or in the weight room or running, because it pushed everybody else. They're like, God forbid getting outlifted or outran by a kicker. You know, guys are like, I can't let that happen. So by me giving my all, hopefully it made everybody else a little bit better.
Adam's performance was a given. It almost, you don't want to say nothing's guaranteed, especially in this game, but it's almost like he made you feel like it was guaranteed because he just never let you down.
Come on, go. It's good! It's good! Adam Vinatieri! The Colts have the lead!
People ask me all the times, you know, do you want it to come down to a game-winning field goal? I said, I just want to win.
He never would tell me, hey, really want it on the right hash, on the left hash. He'd just say, hey, wherever you get it, I'll make it. Just had a real confidence about him. Not a cockiness, a confidence because he had done it.
There's so much pressure on the quarterbacks and the play callers to try to get into that range. I was like, I don't need to add any extra on you.
It's almost like, I don't want you adding that to your plate. Adam knew quarterback play. He was a quarterback in high school. So, you know, he's like, hey, go do your job. You know, try to get us a touchdown. Yeah, that'd be great. But if we don't convert this fourth down, you just kind of knew he wasn't going to make it.
And the fun thing is when Peyton was on the field, more times than not, I wasn't kicking that game winner at the end. Sometimes I was, but most of the time I was drinking Gatorade, waving at my family in the crowd because Peyton, we were up by 21 points by the end of the game.
Adam and my dad had such a great relationship. He always respected Adam even when he was at the Patriots for that mindset, for that toughness, to be undrafted at South Dakota State. It's like the Drake song, we started from the bottom, now we're here. He just epitomizes that. In 2006, when we were able to sign Adam, the reaction from my dad in that moment reminds me of a few other moments on the same par. One of them being when Tony Dungy got let go from Tampa. And my dad's like, oh, like they made such a huge mistake. This is gonna be amazing. You know, another one when we drafted Peyton Manning. And then Adam, we are gonna win a Super Bowl this year because now we have Adam. Now we have all the missing pieces. It was such a pinnacle moment for my father. He was that missing piece that my dad was hoping to get.
And for all our fans, we have one more mission.
When we won it here in 2006, I got to watch the first time for all my teammates. It was unbelievable. Watching my teammates cry and embrace each other and just how hard they fought. That was so much fun to be a part of that. God, it was awesome. Mr. Irsay, he was the most generous man I've ever met in my life. He would do anything for anybody. My intentions a year earlier, when I first got nominated for the Hall of Fame, I was like, there wasn't even a question who I would ask to be my presenter. And obviously he passed away the year before. I feel like the ownership here is special in its own way, that they want to be hands-on. They want it to be family. Thank you so much for everything that you and your family have done for me. I'd be super, super honored if you would present me.
Me?
I want you to be...
What?
Yeah.
It's such an incredible honor to be asked to do that. It honestly brought tears to my eyes.
You, your family, your father, like, meant the world to me and my family, and just
I wish he
make me emotional.
He'll be watching. I wish my dad could be here to do it. I know he'll be smiling down.
It was something that I tried to never think about when I was playing, to think that I get to go to Canton, I get to give my speech, I get to see my bust in the Hall of Fame, which gives me goosebumps thinking about it right now. It really does. You know, my grandchildren at some point can go in there and go, man, my grandpa was pretty cool.
Not many kickers make it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I don't think anyone's even going to come close to breaking his points record. I mean, not even close.
Adam, congratulations on being inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So happy to see this journey end in Canton, Ohio, and be your teammate once again. So congratulations, pal.
Mr. Vinatieri, Paisan, I thank you for everything. I was incredibly lucky to be your teammate. I'm so happy you're getting a chance to get your flowers from the football gods. You've earned it, brother. Thank you so much. Congratulations. We love you, brother.
Adam, on behalf of my family, I just want to thank you for the day that you came to Indianapolis in 2006 as a free agent. You made my dad's dream to win a Super Bowl in Indianapolis possible. Thank you.
All right, that was cool. I saw it yesterday. It was pretty cool. Little doodad. I'm sure the other Hall of Fame people have that stuff going on, but that's the one that hit my feed, and I was like, thinking of that one. This one I got to point to the bottom where it says, crying and laughing is an action of an emotion moving you in a wave of a lepton, which is basically crying is when you are breaking your reality at some measure into small pieces, and it's getting, so I might cry here, and it's all good. So I was thinking about one of the lines they said in there where I don't know which Irsay daughter said it. Sorry, names are not my forte, but both of them said that they wish that Jim Irsay was there. That they use a line of watching down, and I think it's interesting that we think that it's down. Death is the fourth phase of life, where you get to see how you fondled, like how your repercussions are. So the three phases of life, you have the fuck it phase, which is your first phase. Then you go into the find it phase, where you find things that you don't want to say fuck it to, and then that goes through its own little fuck it phase. And when you find something, you want to feed it, and you're in that feed it phase, and that's the action part of your life. And then when you get done with the action part of your life, you move to the fondle it phase. And from the stories, you hear of someone like Jim Irsay, like he didn't ever hit the fondle it phase. He lived his life, and then he died to move to the fondle it phase. So I don't think, I guess this is my opinion, and I think it's the truth based on like meditating and finding it from the other side. But I think that the people that we care about, that we want to be in moments with us, when we make phrases, oh, I wish they would be here. I think it's better if we realize that they're not looking down on us, they're looking at it through us. So to make them see what you think you want, like this is, whatever happens, you need to see whatever is happening in the light that you think they would want to see it as, if that's what you want to show them. And then if enough people are looking at in their experience in a way that they want the person that they wish was their experience, then they've fondled your experience, if that makes sense. Like they're kind of that godlike pressure that fondles your experience to lead the way it should be. So he definitely, if you are saying that he's looking down on you, know that he's looking through you. And I hope that you see this experience in the manner that he would want you, that he would want to see, if that's what you want. And I think the way, from what I'd understand of Jim Irsay, like he would want you to have the experience that you want to have. So I hope the inductee, the Hall of Fame, is everything that you hoped it would be. And I was sitting by the fire pit this morning thinking about that, and it was a good way to explain it. And like the Jim, one of the stories that I tell, because I heard, so it's like fourth hand about Jim Irsay is the whale story. And the way that I understand it is basically he understood that there was a whale that needed to be, I don't know if he was like, it was going to die, and either his family was in Seattle or like the doctor that could fix it was in Seattle. I like saying this family was in Seattle, and he was building a plane to fly the whale from Florida to Seattle, and it's a great story. But I think like I get like a deeper message from it that I find very interesting. Of like, it's a great story because it's hilarious and like just obnoxiously irresponsible, I guess, is for lack of a better term. And that's not the term, but I don't have a better one right now. But the way that I see those events transpiring is like, he hears the story and says to himself, something should be done. And there's obviously like people that handle that well. He's like, what needs to be done? And they're like, it needs to be moved to Seattle. And like, how would we do that? And if there was, what is the best way to do that? And they're like, fly it. And they're like, okay, well, where do I get a plane? And they were probably like, I don't know. So I understand, or maybe I'm aware, or maybe imagining, or just think that everybody who has the ability to do those things has a person to get those things done. Like, okay, well, there's no plane, so we need to build one. You have a guy that's just like, we need to build a plane, and they just go out and figure out what it takes to build a plane. So he like points at that guy and he goes to look to build a plane and finds a person to build a plane, and they're probably like, this can't be done. And the response from the Ursay camp is, what would it take to be done? And they came up with a way to get it done. And it wasn't. It was, can you do this? And when it was a problem, it wasn't. It wasn't the Ursay's problem. It's your problem to figure out, what do you need from me, so you can figure it out. Not so much what give me an answer now, but like, what do you need to get an answer? And I think that's, I don't know, that one we lost. We jumped the shark on that one. But in any event, the reason why I say that is the debone situation yesterday was an interesting one, where they were all trying to help or fat shame debone into making better life choices. And this goes into like the what we're selling, or what we're trying to build, the business that we're trying to create as in the third place, right? So it's the third place initiative is an experience. We afford the opportunity for an experience, right? It doesn't make any sense, but like, yeah, it's basically what it is. And by doing that, it's very profitable when you do that, if you do it in the right way. So, the interesting part of debone, I think in my head, everybody's getting upset about Debo going out and buying like pizzas and enjoying life at this point in time. We forget that people reach the different phases of life at different points in time. Like, when you get to the last half of the feed it phase and move into the fondle it phase, you start appreciating the experience more than the repercussions. Like, I live in this part of I'm in the fondle it phase by a long shot. Like, I'm not going to aggressively kill myself, but I'm not going to not do something that I enjoy because it may kill me. And and if it does result in me dying, like, totally worth it at this point. And it could be as little as eating McDonald's every day. Like, if that's what makes him happy and he understands what it is, it's who is us to say, you should do it differently. Now, who are you to say he should do it differently? Like, that's what your friends are for. Like, that is absolutely, if you see somebody that you care about, it is absolutely your responsibility to yourself, not so much him, because if everybody took care of themselves, we would all be taken care of. That expands out to the Pat McAfee show. Keeping debone around is better off and in less of a situation than if debone isn't around. And that's why that's the interesting exchange of value, and how taking care of yourself, you end up having to take care of other people sometime, because they don't take care of that part of themselves that needs to be taken care of. So listening to everything yesterday, that was a lot of shaming, fat shaming. So as an outsider, as the Grand Chancellor of the unsolicited, all the uns. I really need to get my title down. the eternal chancellor of the unofficial, unsolicited, unconfirmed Executive League of Fans, I offering my perspective on the situation. Now, as a fan standpoint, Debo has provided entertainment and fine graphics, and we don't really want to see anything bad happen to him, but we also appreciate that, we're all living our own best lives, and if this is your best life, man, I totally support it and defend it. But that being said, the people who say that they need to do something, this comes into the difference of be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It may change their life, and be a friend, show a friend something meaningful, and it will change their life. Saying something only goes so far. Sometimes it's how much is it worth to actually take an action to it now. So this is an interesting approach to saying how the ecosystem of the third place initiative works with this endeavor. So from the fans' perspective, if you're just talking about it, it doesn't really mean that much to you. If you're talking for 3 hours a day about nonsense, deciphering what actually means something and what doesn't needs to have a more profound reaction to it. So in my mindset, if I was and I'm grossly generalizing, and this is coming from a point of ignorance, of indifference, of whether it is positive or negative to somebody. It's not meant to be either. It's just, it is what it is. But if I was in a position and I had a Ty Schmidt who was constantly shitting his pants because he couldn't eat healthy food, but he wants to eat healthy food, and I have a D-Bone who is on the verge of having an aneurysm or cardiac arrest on a day-to-day basis, and another 12 people that also go hungry, wouldn't you think there's somebody for somebody's in the, how much, first of all, how much would it be worth to like provide the eating or food or nourishment, the appropriate nourishment for the people who wanted to have it? Like you use Uber Eats and you use DoorDash and you have all of those things. Like, how much is it worth to have like a chef on site to plan and prepare meals for you and have them in the parking lot for you in a food truck? Because you don't want to be locked into anything. You need variety as the spice of life, and like a food truck would be the perfect way to start out the whole ordeal. Now I understand this is all stupid and has no idea, but like this is how I would approach it if there were no rules. Like, how do we fix the problem? And like, it goes into, is there anybody out there in the world who, for the price of the food truck, the food, and a place to live, would provide meals for you on a regular basis, and the meals you wanted, and you don't need to, like, this is where the nuance of it comes into. It's, if you don't know what those meals are, that doesn't fall into a you problem. It falls into the person who has the food trucks problem. Like, that's the problem you're solving. Is there anybody out there who can solve the Ty Schmidt shits his pants every 5 minutes because he can't eat broccoli, spicy broccoli, and meat and cheese burritos, and to give food of an appropriate manner to D-Bone so he's not ordering McDonald's and 3 large cheese pizzas and Taco Bell or whatever? Is there somebody out there to solve that problem? I think there is. Now, as a business, you don't want, if if you're putting all of that in, you're expecting something more out than you put in, right? Like can we get more value out of it is the question, which is why you make food trucks. Because I don't know, you're well connected to I don't know, make an assumption again. Since you have the resources to buy. If I had the resources to buy a suite at a Colts game and broadcast my podcast from Gainbridge Arena before the NBA Finals and those type of things, I would think that I have some sort of connection where I would be able to put the food truck in a meaningful location for things like Sunday football games that the Colts have, or games at Gainbridge Arena, and be able to sell food during those time frames. Not every day, but like during events, an event food truck. That way, you make a shit ton of money at an event like that, and you make even more money if you take the approach that the old Salad and Go before they went bankrupt yesterday without telling anybody. I believe that Angie's is now the new Salad and Go here in Phoenix. I went there yesterday, by the way. Absolutely. Service could use some fine tuning, but not really a problem. Kind of what you would expect for the price point that you're paying, and the fact that they probably just doubled in they're the only game in town now, so they're probably a little bit busier than they're used to, and you gotta get the flow of that, and I understand. But yeah, definitely great, way better than Salad and Go, owned by the people that had it beforehand, and that's an interesting story because like I guess they got private equity money and ended up backing out of the company in 2021 because the equity firm wanted to expand so fast. And they expanded so fast that they had to file for bankruptcy and they went out of business on Wednesday, which then I put my tinfoil hat on and I'm like, why would you? Everybody saw that you were expanding so fast and didn't understand why it was, but did you use this company to expand so fast so they would go bankrupt? So now you have all of these little corner lots of property that you're trying to now turn over and exploit. That's a whole nother can of worms. But like their price point is based on what I understand, it's similar to the price point that I think should exist on things where it's not about the demand, it's about the supply. You don't, and the prices are set based on how much they have to pay for the salad and the ingredients to the salad, and as long as the ingredients are the price point, the price never really went up. It was always relatively like 10 or I think yesterday we went there. It was like two of us for like a protein bowl, a salad, a quesadilla, and a drink was like 18 or 19 bucks or something. Like not bad at all, and great food. Where if you go to somewhere like Flower Child or whatever, that same salad is like just one of the salad itself is like $17. That doesn't include like a protein bowl or whatever. So like if you do the price point on that for your food truck, and you whatever your cost is plus the 20% margin that you would put on top of it, for your profit, it's going to be an Amazon type of thing where you're making your money off of the volume, and then you get to, as you get better and better at doing that, you'll be able to understand more about like you'll be able to discover like what's the maximum amount of food can I make this food truck make during the period at which we're able to sell at a quality that we are able to maintain. Like those three things are the most important part of it. So you're able to come up with a number of meals. This is all progression as you go. So like you start off with just, this is how much shit I have. This is how much it costs for me to get this shit. And this is how much it costs to make whatever the food is, and just the general, like, what is your, I mean, you would break this down, like, if you have bills, like, what is the cost per meal, like you do with everything. Like, that's just how you figure out the price of shit. But, like, that's what it is, and then 20% on top of that is what you make in profit. Because you're a one-man band, you don't have any overhead. So if you figure out the total number of meals that you can make, you usually can then reserve those meals, and you can have the market dictates the band price. So if I'm going to a football game and I know I want to go to Ty's anti-turd truck, then, and I know that they have 500 meals that they can make, and I want it, I'm going to pay whatever the base price is, plus I'll pay an extra $10 on top of that or whatever, because I want to eat Todd's anti-turd truck tacos or whatever it is. So yeah, I was on way early, but yeah, that was that's like the solution. If you really, I don't say you, if I really cared and had the means to do it, like, that's how I would address the issue. Is it would be like, who out there thinks that they can feed D-Bone so he doesn't have to order McDonald's or Taco Bell, and who can feed Ty Schmidt so he doesn't shit his pants every day in the show when he eats spicy broccoli or a burrito, and give the rest of us food that we would eat. Seems like an interesting proposition that I think many people would. I think there'd be it's kind of like the be the offensive coordinator for the Akron Engineers or whatever the hell they were. It's like, it sounds absurd, but like, and you're gonna get a lot of shitty options, but like, there's gonna be a portion of them that's gonna be worthy of the time being spent. And like, how do you find them? That's not my problem. That's not yet anyway. And I have ways of figuring it out, like, but they all take time and energy and whatnot. But the thing about it all is we have all of the time and we have all of the energy. We just don't have any of we don't have the sink to try it in. We don't have the ordeal. So yeah, that was my rant by the fire pit. Went way better in the fire pit than it did. What did I say yesterday? Say anything fun? Oh, I can't fucking see any of this. Oh yeah, we're gonna make German gingerbread cookies. Oh, what's going on in the world? Jamar Gibbs. Is he making more than anybody else in the world too? Do we care about this? Carson Beck did good in the high school football game yesterday. It's not fair. Oh, that was what I was talking about in my head for a really long time. Like, we keep saying that, like, D-Bone's only 28 years old, and then we act like that's young, but it's like 28 is when you've already tried to, like, you've gotten to a feed it phase, and you may like have thought that you peaked. Like, think about like the story, the way D-Bone is introduced, right? Is like Division III football national champion. Like, think about that as a like in context of, I guess context isn't the right word, but like scale of football people. Like, so many people stay in high school for their entire lives just because of the high school football was where their life peaked, right? That's a non. It's so significant. There's like an entire genre of movies that like dictates this, and like you go anybody who grows up in a small town, it's like there are those people that never left that still go to games. Like Texas is full of it. Like fucking Texas is full of that. Now, if that's we're used to that because or that's has a negative connotation to it, and we're more aware of that because we've all seen it firsthand. But like, there's a bunch of people that go to the next stage and play football in college, where college is the peak and that's where you want to stay forever. But college is like, you don't get to like float in college because that's in the feed it phase of your life, and you don't get to float into the feed it phase. You either drop back into the fuck it phase, or you ascend to the fondle it phase. And like D-Bone, to get to the point where he's just like indulging on the satisfying, indulging, there's a term there, indulging on the, yeah, I guess the satisfying parts of the experience and ignoring the negative parts of the experience. Like that's like what the fondlet phase is all about. At the fondlet phase, you realize what's important and you realize what's not important. And maybe he's just like, I've already peaked here, boys. I don't have any. Like, I respect that because that's kind of where I am right now. Like I've got all my stories. I've done all of the things that I wanted to do. So like, dying of diabetes is like not a. I mean, could be a horrible way to go, but it's just like not worth sacrificing the enjoyment of eating the shit that I know I like to eat. And if anybody cared, they would offer a different selection of food that I was aware of and could consume. And like Angie's does that. That's what they do. But like, I can't afford. I can't eat salad every meal. So, and part of it's on me. Like if you don't want to, you can't help somebody who doesn't want to be helped. So that's why the food truck idea has to be two-pronged. It has to be beneficial to the DraftKings Thunderdome, and then it has to be it has to have the opportunity to be beneficial to God, to the outside influence, the people that are aware of the situation. And like, I don't know how zoning laws work. I don't care most of the time. Unsure if I would care if I had to, but like you have if you have a parking lot, couldn't you just like park the food trucks in your parking lot and then like build some picnic tables, and then you would have then you would be able to have like your own little restaurant, and then you like music so much and you could perform and you build a little stage there, and you could have like little live music for lunch and dinner. Your own little Nashville in Indianapolis. I'm like, this is what happens in my brain. I don't know. Probably should have not done this. It's weird to just sit by the fire pit. Like it all comes out super eloquent and entertaining. We're getting, it's less so crazy now, but it definitely is getting there. But like I was moved by the Adam Vinatieri movie, and like the he'll be watching down in a statement like triggered something in there. It's like it's not down, it's through. Like we misinterpret that in our experience. It's not, nothing is above us. It's outside of us and inside of us. That's, and when you put it in a spherical form, it seems like we constitute up and down, but it's not. It's inside. It's in our hearts, in our souls, in our minds. Like that's the inside, and that's where our loved ones live, and that's very interesting. That's why like having that story of the whale telling that is the only homage that you can do as a fan, is to just tell the stories that you know of the people. And I'm indifferent to Jim Irsay as a person. Like I didn't know he existed until his death, essentially. Like and the stories that are told, I find to be that the life that was lived was one that should be shared with everybody. So like continuing to say that story is the best that I can do to make it so he never is truly gone. And unfortunately, the only thing that God guarantees us is death. We're all going to pass away. So like the inner circle, the people that are in that that family in third place, they're going to pass on. So the idea and the spirit of Jim is going to be left to the stories that the people like me tell. And that's ultimately the ultimate fondle that we have, is the reach at which the stories of the storytellers go. And as the storyteller, it's important to understand that if we have those experiences that we wish they were there, that we live them the way we want that person to see them, then they'll always see it the way that they wanted to see it. And that's a circle that I can't explain very well. And that's what I'm doing here, is like just getting a better way of saying this. Because like, I find this fun. I find this amusing. I don't really expect or care what happens beyond that, as long as I'm able to do the things. That's what I need to do. I'm at 7 minutes. 7 minutes, and then we'll get into the next part of the day. But this is the thought experiment of like what I'm trying to sell is the opportunity of people to do things that don't matter. And like, I don't think this matters. Excuse me. I could stop this right now or tomorrow and never do it again, and nobody would be the wiser. Nobody would be truly affected by it. At some point, do I think somebody would be? I do. And like, the only reason why I would want somebody to be interested in this is if it is moving us towards the steps of creating the third place. And the only way you know is by doing. So it's like a real fucked up way of living, of like, the only thing that makes this okay is the next step. And that's what faith is. That is like, I have faith out there that there's somebody out there that wants to interact with this. And I don't even know what level that is. I don't even know what that means. Like yesterday, somebody did interact with this. What was his? We chat about the fucking he's a huge Texans fan. And I don't mind the Texans story. That sounds cool to me. This guy, Dream Team Apple, huge Texas guy. Follow him. He seems like a cool dude. But yeah, he liked it yesterday, like the little nonsense post. So that was cool. So I guess like somebody's out there over the rainbow, way up high. but I to but like that's what the faith is. Like there's somebody out there. God is out there, right? Like I'm trying to God is not this mythological creature, it's us. We are the cumulative us that nobody talks to is God because we have a gentle pressure. Like I don't think anything I say is going to go directly to anybody of influence. Like somebody hears what I say and then they reiterate something that I say, some iteration of it. They hear the story of the whale and they internalize it, and then they're going to go and say it to another person. And like the butterfly effect, the pyramid scheme is a real thing. Um, and you never know when when you're going to say something worth hearing. But I also don't disagree with the line of be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. Like I don't think we should be telling friends what to do. I think our friends should feel comfortable telling us what's going on, and I don't think we're in a position where we do that as much as we need to. Like as a group of people, we claim to have friends that we know, but they're very maybe I'm wrong because I am secluded from the world, but like there's a running joke out there that if you reach past the age of 25 and you're a man, like it's impossible for you to make friends. And the fact that joke has relevancy means that what I'm saying isn't inaccurate. Like we need to, like, why are we not just rambling about the nonsense that's going on in our head? Just because everybody has a bad idea. Everybody has unpopular opinions. It should, like, we used to be able to go to a bar or and go to a gym and like say those, like to a place, a third place, and say those things. And yeah, you might piss somebody off and you might get punched in the face and there might be a little bit of a brawl, or you might laugh too loud and have a great time. You might be embarrassed and have your video of you trying to jump rope yourself in the middle of a wedding and taking out somebody in the third row. Like those are all things that should be happening more often, but we don't because like I don't know, and I guess that's I'm trying to lead by example of just saying all of the nonsense, and whatever the hell happens, and the people that I care about what they have to say are never going to see this, so it's not going to matter. Like I highly doubt my mom and dad are going to like turn this shit on and listen to me talk, mostly because I didn't tell them I'm doing it. Um, but and like so, and then the likelihood that anybody else is going to show the action, because this is where the action comes in, on a meaningful action to change the experience. I have faith that it'll happen. Like I would like it to happen, but I'm not crazy enough to think that like expect it to happen. If that makes sense. Like I'm boys. Oh, I'm doing this in the wrong one. Oops. Oh, I'm doing this in the wrong one. Oops. All right, so boys in the back. This thing keeps crashing. All right, so we got that. He's got 0. I'm not super good at the formatting part of this. I have rules for so. This is a brilliantly horrible idea that I've come up with. Darius J. Butler. 0. I forgot him yesterday. My bad. 0. Who else did I forget? Chuck. Chuck Pagano. He's got 0. He's got 0. AQ Shipley. He's got 0. He's got 0. Ty Schmidt. He's got 0. He's got 0. Boston Connor. He's got 0. He's got 0. And JJ Watt. Oh. 0. All right. So this is a summary of the helmet stickers. Boys in the back have no helmet stickers, but they got a game ball. Oh, we got to put that up here. PMS helmet stickers. PMS game balls. All right. All right, so we need to make the rules for the helmet stickers. Oh no, my camera died. That's weird. Oh no. Am I still streaming? Well, fuck me silly. All right, so. All right. All right. All right, so. Got the game balls. So. Game ball. Game ball guidelines. I wonder what this thing is doing. Oh no. Oh no. I don't know what's happening here, but there's a non-zero chance that this thing crashes. All right, we see one helmet sticker. following. I don't know what's happening here, but there's a non-zero chance that this thing crashes. First one. Guest says, guest acknowledges, acknowledge is good question. Journalism. Oh, that's not what we wanted. Nope. Nope. Go away. Journalism sticker. The FUBC sticker. Or the fuck you Boston Counter sticker. Have a guest give some derivative of fuck you Boston Counter. Tell a friend. Helmet sticker. Cause a random FaceTime call. And then this is the one I don't want to godlike top dog. Dog sticker. Do something. Forgot what my name is. What my name is? Hi, my name is. What my name is? Who my name is? Fat fucktard. Couldn't have posted that many things. What is 3U ELF? Uh-oh. I think my computer's overheating. That's probably bad. All right, helmet sticker guidelines for this 2026 season. All right. Helmet sticker guidelines. All right, let's have Grok make this not retarded. Review this for spelling and grammar. Is this absurd? But yes, it is. But that's the point, right? Don't we all wish we had the time to like do shit like this shit, like play like a child? We stop playing. We're just playing. Simple Sean. Oh, thank you. Helmet sticker. Guidelines for PMS Live 2026 season. You receive one helmet sticker for the following. Changes. Capitalized guidelines. Change the follow to the following. Added proper spacing. Close the missing quotation mark. Removed extra spaces. Well, look at you go. Look at you go, Gronk. And now it's just going to be all fucked up when I paste it in here. Control A, Control V. That's weird. That's some like wild cut and paste. Did not copy and paste it. Any rant thing that made sense. Fuck you, boss encounter. Dude. These got all fucked up here. Oh no. We screwed the pooch. We screwed the pooch. Alright. Is this absurd? Yes. Do I think it's awesome? Yes. Football. Boom. There are the rules. Do we want to put the appeals in there? Yeah, we probably need to. Fans and show participants. Participants can appeal by a post with YouTube timestamp on X until 6 p.m. Phoenix time. The day of live broadcast. This is so stupid, but it's so fun. Fucking retarded. All decisions made by are final and can only be our final. Yeah. Is this absurd? It certainly is. It certainly is. But it is hilarious. It is hilarious. All right. I need to make some helmet stickers. You think Gronk will make us some helmet stickers? I really hope that I would have my own D-bone by now, but I guess you really have to do something to get one. So I guess all right. Can you make me a custom helmet sticker for the Pat fucking similar to what the Ohio State, to what college football teams do with their helmets and their logos. All right, Grack, I want you to think about this for a minute. Go. Go. Go, team, go. Go. Go, team, go. Oh man, I might have to tie Schmidt. That looks like you're writing a bunch of words. So I do a full hum it back. Okay. um, there you go. Send it 10 minutes before a show, ask for something. That's how we roll. Because if you do it at a time when you know they're not looking, you know they're probably never going to have to worry about it. Oh, Jeff passing memes mix puppet jokes with. Okay. Those are words I don't really fully understand. But all good in the hood. All good in the hood. All good in the hood. Excuse me. I should have done that, but I did. It's weird that the live thing doesn't show you anything anymore. It's very strange. No soup for you. No soup for you. Doobie doobie doo. Doobie doobie doo. Doobie doobie. Extra training camp. The essence of the Viking QB competition remains the same. Kyler Murray is a heavy favorite. Well, that contradicts what a junior receiver having a turf battle. That's not funny, Sean. I think it's hilarious. So Ian Rappaport said that it was 50-50, and Adam Schefter is reporting that Kyler Murray's a heavy favorite. So something ain't adding up. Something ain't adding up. Do I really think that 7 people are watching this thing right now, or do you think 7 people have viewed it total? I think maybe 7 people like randomly scrolled by it. I think 7 people randomly scrolled by it. This fucking thing is super hot. We're pot committed now, boys. Pot committed now. Rico checking in training camp. How many times do we think that they're going to be? 20. Doop. Loop loop. Loop loop loop. Ingo was his name. Oh. N-I-N-G-O. I hate preseason. We really need Little League World Series starts soon. The girls' Little League World Series was I imagine oh wow. I don't understand WWE. Penn State! Penn State! Penn State! You're welcome. Do you think it was like destined for Ty Schmidt to shit his pants because his last name is Schmidt? Or do you think like he picked that last name because he shits all the time? Like, or was it just the universe knew that that joke was going to be available and no one was ever going to say it because it's just too obvious? Or it's mean. I don't know which. Ty Schmidt, Ty Shits. Oh yeah. Oh. Sooner! Sooner! Oh, did you guys ever funnel beers off the side of a house? This guy. Although he just shoves it and fuck off. Damn, Daniel. Damn, Daniel. Get off. $1,000. Oh. I still want AJ to turn around and just like shove him or do like a chest bump to the ground. It's been hilarious. Shout. Oh. What happened to this guy? Do you think he would have been good enough to kick on an actual team? It's always an intriguing question with that kid. I don't know anything about kicking, so but it seemed like a good kick.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey. What?
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, UP. Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people.
The elephant keeps getting closer. Feel Good Friday.
On this Feel Good Football Friday, August 7, 2026, this sports program begins now.
Football.
Is the absolute greatest. You
No Ty Schmidt
absolutely
today.
nailed it. We hope you all enjoyed the hell out of the Hall of Fame game last night, where we got to witness.
No Ty Schmidt. Oh, he's at the doctor's today.
Usually these Hall of Fame games from us, especially whenever we talk every single day about this beautiful league and wonderful sport, we always hype it up in a big way, and then normally about a drive or two in, we go, oh, this is pretty bad. You know, we were watching UFL already a couple months ago. That feels like what we're doing. Yeah, right. Not last night. There was highlights all over the place. And don't look now. Carson Beck, this guy might be a first ballot Hall of Famer. That might not be his only visit to Canton, Ohio.
Exactly.
Okay, if you were watching what he was doing last night. Now, Jacoby Brissett obviously just signed a new deal worth $15 or $16 million. Gardner Minshew's also over there. They spent a draft pick on Carson Beck, formerly of Georgia, where he won a national championship. Got some burn, actually, in the national championship against TCU in SoFi Stadium. Sliced and diced, was incredibly tall. Then he transfers over to Miami. There's a lot of conversation about what's going on outside of football field with Carson Beck, but he locks in with Coach Cristobal and the boys, goes all the way to the national championship. Now, he gets drafted to the Cardinals in the middle of a new head coach, new offensive system. Maybe a new storyline for the Arizona Cardinals is that they're not a bunch of cheapskates. Okay?
Yeah.
They're not a team that is literally running themselves like a bottom of the basement dwelling franchise in one of the most beautiful cities to ever be created, Phoenix, Arizona. The Bidwell
During Glendale.
leadership has now invested in a new practice facility. They got a new head coach that's supposedly an offensive wizard from the Los Angeles Rams, brother of LaFleur that leads the Packers.
It would be nice for them to win.
Carson Beck last night look like a pro. He's making checks at the line.
Yeah.
He's spinning it sidearm. We're talking different arm angles, and then his guys making plays for him. Now, all of the stars for both of the teams were sitting on the sidelines, chewing on sunflower seeds and hanging out. But I think what we saw last night is that the depth of our sport, the depth of our league is certainly potentially higher than it's ever been. Because it wasn't just Carson Beck slicing and dicing all over the field, potentially being an all-pro in his first year under the LaFleur leadership in the toughest division in sport. Haynes King on the other side. I mean, Kenny Pickett, the guy who started for the Panthers, one glove last night.
Yep.
That feels like a big storyline nobody's really covering at this particular point. He was a two-glove guy. Then he said, boom, let me get to Michael Jackson with this thing. And he was spinning like he was Ben Roethlisberger back in the day. Yeah. I appreciate him doing that. Haynes King gets in, though, out of Georgia Tech. This guy almost won a Heisman. Okay? This guy went into like a 14 overtime game against Georgia, did his thing. This guy was a superstar leader. Whenever he did an interview on College Game Day, it was the best that we ever had. He was spending, having a good time talking, interview, saying to the boys, it's like, this guy seems like a great leader. How will he be in the NFL? I saw him miss a wide-open touchdown.
That's true.
Wide-open touchdown. And I saw him look up to the football lords and just go, what is that?
And I thought that was going to be the last I ever seen of Haynes King potentially in the NFL. Went into the halftime and go, all right, Haynes King was an incredible college football quarterback. I loved him. I appreciate him. That guy's not an NFL quarterback. You can't do that in that moment with who you are in that situation. Yeah, right. Second half, Haynes King runs absolutely wild. Had a 20-plus yard scamper at one point that certainly helped a lot of us that did the 80-plus yard points and quarterback rush yards. But he had some throws. That's a dime. That's an NFL throw. And then if you look at the way the boys rallied around him late to go get a dub, Haynes King's beloved down there in Carolina. This is to win the Hall of Fame game. 2 seconds left. What are you going to do with it? Oh, the same thing that you just thought about him in overtime against Georgia. He's going to run a couple people over and he's going to score a touchdown. Now, does any of this matter for either of these teams whenever we look ahead to the actual
Are any
season?
of those people on the field ever going to play in an NFL football game?
Probably.
Who knows?
Not.
But there's a good chance that this moment right here in the middle of training camp is, first of all, awesome that this is happening. I'm excited that we got to experience this as football fans last
Is the highlight of many of those people's life.
Overreact to one half a Hall of Fame game football. Okay? I tweeted that just this I will not. I typed out every one of these. This was not a copy-paste operation.
I love that you did that.
This was not a copy-paste operation.
Bart Simpson on the chalkboard.
Single one. Then I went back, had a couple typos because I was just speeding through. I was literally sitting in the moment going, I will not do that. Carson Beck's going to be in the Hall of Fame. Holy shit. Jacoby Brissett's going to be his backup. Jacoby Brissett is a great backup. He was a backup to Andrew Luck, but Andrew Luck, a professional. Carson Beck and LaFleur out there might not be asked. And whenever they showed the sidelines, like, is that Marvin Harrison right there? Yeah, he looks so cool in his sunglasses.
Yeah.
Is that Jeremiah Love right there? Is that McBride right there? He's a 99? And it's like, hold the phone.
Wait.
One half of football. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Hard not to.
It was so hard not to, and that's what football is. Shout out to the Hall of Fame game. Shout out to these lads having an incredible performance. This is obviously going to kick off a great weekend of celebrating some of the game's greatest of all time. Adam Vinatieri looked so cool last night. Big wave as he was walking out there.
Good.
Super jacked, by the way. Yeah, and he knew the angle. Go towards the camera. Let that thing, because he kind of Siciliano'd his body, let his bicep kind of get a good angle there. He looks great. Shout out to Larry Fitzgerald, Drew Brees, Luke Kuechly, and Roger Craig, who is obviously his reaction to getting told that he's going into the Hall of Fame was epic. But the lads going into the Hall this year are certainly worthy. They are certainly fantastic, and I'm happy that they got a chance to experience a little bit of love publicly last night, which will carry all the way through, hopefully the entire season, but definitely all the way to the Super Bowl, where there will be chit-chat at the NFL honors. So congrats to these lads.
Way to go, boys.
Can't wait to celebrate this one right here. This little Italian kicker that got in the Hall of Fame. A lot of great stories coming out about him.
Yeah.
This is a lot of the lads right here. And I assume the other guys are as well. And I think I heard some stories of Luke Kuechly's teammates. I think D-Butt actually told a story about when Luke Kuechly got there to camp, first rounder, obviously out of Boston College. He had a bunch of tackles at Boston College, and he had glasses, and he literally just walked around, because I've seen this happen at the Pro Bowl when I did not know who he was.
Yeah.
I had no idea who he was. Walking with, like, his books like he's in school. He's got these glasses on. Basic-ass white guy haircut. Yeah. This is standard.
Bland.
What was that thing they used to go into box and work out in? They go down to the box. What, you remember they used to work out in boxes? It was a big thing.
CrossFit?
He
Wow.
looks like he's a nerd CrossFit white.
Yeah.
He's a little bit jacked, but he just looks like a white. There he is. Okay, he does CrossFit probably. He's in the box doing the entire thing. Watch out for the shoulders, obviously getting after it. That's how they described him walking around. And then all of a sudden, first game came with pads. It was a preseason game, and he just everywhere. They're like, holy hell, this is actually Clark Kent Superman type situation with this guy. Everybody that gets into the Hall of Fame are a different species. I mean that is just actually, and the fact that Drew Brees gets a chance to celebrate that, Larry Fitzgerald.
Isn't it weird how the Hall of Fame is just,
old school
it's the percentage of people that are all about football. If you think about, like, less than 1% probably. So it's like the psychos of the psychos.
Cowboys, Gumpy, is this potentially going to be
the best season yet?
Perhaps.
And we also hammer our first NFL season with DraftKings. So if you are of age and agree to gamble responsibly and not like an asshole, you should come join us on DraftKings.
Should we put $100?
As we put together our first really promoted, we like this one. Let everybody know we like it. It was minus 165. We did not go out on a huge limb, but it did look a little weak there for a while, especially as Kenny Pickett was just like, I'm not running out here. I'm a Super Bowl champion.
Yeah,
Did not know that was going to be the thing. I thought we were potentially going to see a little bit of movement out of Kenny. I think he's pretty comfortable in his position over there. But we did think in the third and fourth quarters, these guys were going to be able to move a little bit. And Haynes King, fourth quarter, 26-yard scramble. That got us over the hump. And we are very, very thankful for that because it did not look like it was going to be a 33-30 game with 63 points being put up on the board. No. It did not look like there was going to be a lot of movement from the quarterbacks. And then Haynes King, our Georgia Tech hero, actually gives us the crown.
Yeah,
so we thank the King. Thank you so much, Haynes King.
Thank you, King.
And also shout to DraftKings for, providing that as an opportunity. Let's continue to move. The Toxic Table's here at Boston Connor and Bone.
Hey, Bone. How about it?
Hey, how about it?
Hey, Bone.
How about it, Bone? Now, Bone, you got a White Sox hat on.
I do.
You got a Boston Red Sox hat.
How the hell is Bone going to be the gym operator if you keep putting him in the Toxic Table?
The Red Sox and the White Sox, and obviously he's from Sandwich, Illinois, which I guess does make him a Chicago potential fan. He has a White Sox hat. I don't know if he's an actual fan or not. He might like Moonshot Ataka Murakami. How could you not? But the Boston Red Sox continue their dream in a massive game last night.
Yeah, unbelievable. They just swept their sixth team, first time ever, where it's 6 teams who lead their respective division. I mean, it was remarkable, but last night was kind of an amazing game. This is the story of it, and there's a bunch of them, but the main ones are 4-0 down, 5-2 down. Let's go all the way to that 7-5. Red Sox were down 7-5. That's in the 9th inning. Okay, 9th inning. Hey, this game's over. They're up by 2 runs. Not so fast, my friend. We scored 2.
Happy birthday, Coach Corso.
Happy birthday, Coach Corso. Now let's go to the 10th inning. They go down 9-7. Give up a 2-run home run. Okay, now this is going to end in 10. It's over. Nope. Sox come back, tie it. 9-9. Let's go to the 10th. 9-7. Yep. 11th. 10-9. 12th. 11-10. They were down essentially the whole game, especially in extra innings. And then, lo and behold, let's go to the best inning of all, the 13th. Bang! Durbinator up the middle to extend the streak to 8 games. I mean, this is amazing. Truly, I don't know how it has happened. They're 30-5 in their last 35 games. Like, how is that even real, to be completely honest? That is ridiculous. I feel honored to be able to just watch these games, even though it was blacked out in Indiana last night because it is a Chicago White Sox. So I was just
I got an ESPN Plus,
of course, and it's blacked out on ESPN Plus. But so I'm just kind of updating.
I thought that's where they're holding it for.
No, yeah, unless it's blacked out because of Chicago. But what are you going to do?
Nope.
You just kind of update the game cast over and over and over again. It was amazing, but all in all, turning on YouTube TV and seeing a Arizona Cardinals and Carolina Panthers thumbnail, remarkable. Can't believe football is back.
Yeah,
baby.
I turned on and saw Football Night in America. I was like, yes, give me that. And then we see Coach Tomlin on there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I think his entire life he's been preparing to do the role that he's about to do. This is what he has been. Every season he was a head coach. Okay, has never had a losing record, is a Super Bowl champion, was in Pittsburgh for as long as he is, which is a pressure cooker of a place to be the head coach, and obviously had to follow greats. You know, he came in right after Bill Cowher. Bill Cowher's from Pittsburgh, beloved in Pittsburgh, won a Super Bowl there. Mike Tomlin gets hired as like a 31-year-old to become the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Nobody knew him. He was not from Pittsburgh. What the hell are we doing? Then he won them over. And I'm going to be honest, every single time he was on a microphone, the reason why he got that head coaching job whenever he did is because when he's talking, he's unbelievable.
Yep.
And that is a huge part of being a head coach and of leadership, but obviously for television.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate the fact he came in there, no tie. Okay, listen, I'll dress I get it. I will do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not doing a tie. Like for me, I don't know how to tie a tie. Okay?
Sure.
So like a lot of people ask me why I don't wear. I'm 39 years old. I don't know how to tie a tie. I would have to go to YouTube to learn how to do that. Now, I view that as an accomplishment. You suits out there are going to think that that's some detriment. So that is, we are just viewing it very differently in how we do it all. So I appreciate that he said, I will dress up, but I'm not going full puppet here because we don't need him. We need Coach Tomlin to be exactly who Coach Tomlin always is. And NBC has a great history of producing incredible television, especially Football Night in America. I mean, that is just... That is a show that we all love, we all enjoy. Coach Tomlin in that realm with Jason Garrett, who we think...
He's awesome on TV.
Very, very good. And then McCourty, right?
Yeah, Devin McCourty.
Devin McCourty's out there, awesome. And then Maria is incredible. And then, that's a great show. Football Night in America has the ratings it has because everybody wants to watch the recap and also wants to watch Sunday Night Football. But also, they don't abuse that audience.
Do a good job.
That show would get a huge number regardless.
Gotta make sure the air conditioner's on.
They don't
It's
abuse
150 degrees outside.
Right. They actually produce incredible stuff, so we appreciate them doing that. And he is going to be an asset to football this year. And I can't wait to watch him, to be honest. Let's go to one half of the hammer.
Done.
Cowboys, AP Tone Diggs. Last night we got a little sniff of football. We got a little sniff of little gambling as well. It felt good to have one out there.
Yeah.
It felt good to have we had a line back out in the water, and it's like, we're trying our best. If we lose, there's going to be people telling us that they chose to spend money on our team ride as opposed to their kids. And it's like, hey, I said specifically, don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
This is not, we are not getting rich off of sports gambling. We are having more fun. We are adding to the excitement.
Is it more fun?
We are trying to figure out
Is
what's
it more
going to happen in
fun?
the game. It gives us as fans a lot more excitement as we try to dissect what we think could happen. I think it gets you a deeper understanding of the game. I think there are some positives, certainly some drawbacks, but for us, whenever you're publicly promoting something, the drawback is people telling you the worst human on earth.
Sure.
And people wanting to kind of chop you off at the shins.
Yeah.
We actually stepped away from the game for a while.
We did.
Because we had 200 and some thousand people riding with us. And we lose because Patrick Mahomes doesn't need to throw the football in the Super Bowl somehow. Still win the Super Bowl, but doesn't have to do it.
Yeah.
Boy, that's a lot of people telling us we're the worst people of all time. So we had to step away from that particular game, which is why we've come back with we're not. This is
winners.
Be responsible with this entire thing.
Maybe.
But yes, we need to find the winners too. Last night, finding one was big. What did we learn maybe last night about the potential season yet that we might have here, Tone?
Potential best season yet. Yeah, it was nice to get our feet wet yesterday. It's a preseason for us too, gambling-wise. And they were a little tight the first drive. Kenny and Carson Beck came out the first drive. They were a little tight, but then they opened up things nicely. But yeah, early on it didn't look great for us because Kenny was kind of out there just playing point guard, slinging around. He had some opportunities to run that he was not taking. So I was like, oh no, that's our situation there. And then Carson was just absolutely slinging. And then when Haynes King came in, he was also playing a bit of a point guard. Like I have never seen Haynes King slide before, and he slid last night. And then when that happened, I was like, oh no, are we screwed? But when the rubber met the road, when the chips were in the center of the table on that last drive and Haynes King needed a drive, he did what Haynes King does. He does it, rips off a 26-yard run here on 3rd and 14. I was like, oh, that's the guy we know. Lowers his shoulder at the end of it, knocks the guy out of bounds. And then the game-winning touchdown, he did the same thing, and that was enough for us to win last night. But no, when it was early, I was like, oh, okay, something here we might not do, but we did. Always happens in the end. Now moving forward, Panthers are a team you're going to want to look at maybe getting behind in preseason because if it's going Bryce Young, Kenny, and Haynes King, that's a solid preseason lineup.
That's 3.5, 4 quarters
of good.
Yeah, because normally that fourth quarter or last 3 quarters of the fourth quarter is somebody that's never, ever going to be playing in the NFL, but they don't want any of their other quarterbacks to get hurt at that time. So there's only 3 preseason games.
Still think we should get rid of preseason games and just do inter-squad practices. Broadcast squad practices.
Yes.
And Haynes King in preseason football, from our understanding, you have to be able to run as a quarterback. Because
get rid of preseason football and broadcast inter-team scrimmages only.
We've only been together for a few weeks. Haynes King will deliver for us.
Yeah, he had that one miss in the air, but other than that, he was throwing it well. And then on the other side, if you're the Cardinals, if they're going to play Jacoby and Gardner and Carson Beck, it's a formidable preseason team as well. Maybe
now, hold on. We got to remember on this whole preseason gambling thing, we are not going. Last night, we hit on the Hall of Fame game.
Sure.
That's not great.
We're not doing that every week.
That is not great because we got to remember this is preseason football. We might as well be betting on donk. Okay?
Wow.
I just saw donk on the Ocho. That thing's getting 2.5 hours of television time right now. They're throwing a blow-up...
flipping rubber donkeys, I believe.
Yeah, it's a rubber
blow-up donkey.
Yeah. Joining us now, speaking of...
A rubber donkey?
He is a man who's in the NFL for more than a decade. He's a former cover of Sports Illustrated magazine, athlete. He's UConn's greatest quarterback. Ladies and gentlemen, your guru on everything football and quarterbacking, Dan Orlovsky. Dano, just gotta keep working hard, man.
Come on,
just gotta keep working hard,
Head
dude.
down.
What's the What's the deal with? I was never on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
I know, but I saw your face as a youngin' on some magazine. Athlon Sports.
Yeah,
This guy was on the
something.
cover
Was
of
it the
eBay.
Was it the video game maybe?
What were you on the cover of?
Athlon for sure. I think when in college, when EA Sports was doing their college football stuff, they were doing like regional covers.
There you go.
And I was a regional cover one. Yeah.
Boom.
Were you a Playboy All-American too? Ooh, yeah.
Walter Camp.
Never a Playboy. Hugh never gave you that. Never gave you one of those.
No, not you.
No, I was not a Playboy All-American either. I was Walter Camp though. I was in that whole thing. Look at us. Look at us, glory
Congrats,
days.
guys.
Hey. All right, now that we're talking good, let's talk about from Source
Says.
Mike Tirico says that was the best preseason game I've ever been to. And I'll tell you, watching it, it felt like the best preseason game I've ever watched. I think it's because the quarterbacks play well. And, normally these preseason games, especially the Hall of Fame game, which is before everybody else, they've been there the least amount of time. None of the players are playing in it that are going to end up on the roster normally. And it's like Carson Beck looks so comfortable in that offense. I think we got to give a lot of credit to LaFleur. We got to give a lot of credit to Carson Beck. And then on the other side, Haynes King's a beast. Like that, he did that for Georgia. We watched him do what he had done for Georgia Tech now for multiple years in a row. So I think if you have above average quarterback play or good quarterback play, these preseason games can be electrifying. Mm-hmm. Is that how you view it? And what were your thoughts about last night on these two guys in particular, and then Cardinals and Panthers as a whole?
You saw the benefit of experience in college starts for both of them. I would imagine between those two players, you're probably looking at over 100 college starts combined. And so that kind of played itself out. The comfort level, how they went and operated the huddle, in and out, line of scrimmage, obviously the 2-minute drill to end the game for Haynes King. I'll start with Haynes King. Haynes King has a little bit of the Brock Purdy early on in him. And I'm not saying he's going to become that player, but Brock Purdy started 40-plus games at Iowa State, was a really good athlete, as is Haynes King. Just understood how to just consistently move the ball down the field and was very confident throwing the football, whether in the pocket or on the move. And so I'm not saying that he's going to become this starting quarterback for an NFC Championship contending football team. But Haynes King was a highly recruited player with Jimbo Fisher to Texas A&M for a reason. And then he got Georgia Tech to become a very good football team. So I wouldn't be surprised if Haynes King bills off last night and just becomes a name over the next couple of years that people throw around, trade, whatever, has a chance to have a good career. Carson Beck told the Cardinals last night, you have to consider me for the starting quarterback job sooner rather than later.
Wow.
And I'm not jumping on over Jacoby Brissett just yet. But the number one thing that stands out is never once got fooled by coverage. The eyes were always in the right place. The ball always went to the right place. He played fast. So often young quarterbacks in this first game, they feel overwhelmed. They play a little slow, whether it's with their decision-making or their eyes. I love all the different versions of play actions that LaFleur put him under, the bootlegs, the open ends, the under center play actions, the intermediate throws over the middle of the field, the deep shots. And so, I haven't been at practices and I don't know what the reports are about Carson Beck in practice, but last night it looked the ideal way you would want that to look for a guy that you would want to say he needs more reps to see if we're entertaining starting him earlier than maybe the plan was.
Hey, that wasn't called. I don't know if it wasn't called because it was a Hall of Fame game, but this was obviously a massive shot that Jalen Brooks, Lathan Ransom
hung on the ball.
Brooks holds on to it, and Carson Beck has a deep shot under his belt in the Hall of Fame game. I mean, it was spectacular football. Let's get back to LaFleur in the offense and how comfortable Carson Beck felt. Do you think LaFleur, going into the game, he named him the starter, obviously, LaFleur was trying to learn what Carson Beck could handle here too, right? You talked about the variation of formations and the variations of dropbacks. LaFleur's also trying to learn about Carson Beck in that moment too, right? So he's probably adding shit maybe. Let's see how Carson handles this. Let's see if he can do this. Almost like a first 15 to learn what the defense is going to do. Let's test Carson Beck to see what he can do. And watching it, it felt like it was like week 7 or week 8. Like that, it never feels like that. It felt like it was like middle of season, comfortable. And now, granted, who Carson's playing with is nowhere near the exact people that are playing on in actual NFL games. Who's he playing against? Not the guys that he'll be playing against. But the throws look like they would be that one would have been completed, no matter who's playing back there. The checks felt good, and it felt like he was operating the offense, which I think is the biggest part of everything. And do you think LaFleur was trying to see that as well in the way he was calling the plays, or you think he was just trying to have success get down the field?
No, I guarantee he's trying to figure out off of what he had seen in practice from Carson Beck. Like, what are you? What when these lights come on, what can you handle? And I say this all the time, and I've said this so much about this tree, and it's such a big part of the NFL, this Shanahan, McVay tree, and obviously Mike LaFleur, brother of Matt LaFleur, comes from this tree. Those coaches want the offense to be the star. They never want the quarterback to feel like they have to be the star. The scheme, the marriage of the run and the pass, and then the play call and when it's made, that's the star. And so you're trying to get these quarterbacks to understand that if the play is there, I called this play for a certain coverage. The play is there. I want the ball to go there, right? If it's not there, you get it out of your hands. You should know what the right decision is, whether it's a little bit of a check down, a dump down to the back. I will call another good play at some point for us to be explosive in. And I think the thing that is in the preseason, probably one of the most impressive things off the performance last night is it wasn't lucky. You know, we've seen some quarterbacks come out when they're, first or second preseason games. I want to say there's some broken plays. There's some, I ran around with the football often and like good things happen. This is all in structure. It's all in the design of the play. He had to get to second and third reads. LaFleur saying, all right, well, let's boot him to his left. Let's boot him to his right. Let's give him a closed edge, meaning we'll block and give him an edge. Let's give him an open edge. Let's give 6-man protection. Let's give 5-man protection. Let's give a 7-man protection. So it was a pretty open playbook last night for Carson Beck. And, he controlled and handled, like even that throw. That's the third person to throw the football to on that play. That is not the first person. And so just the fact that like he gets to that quickly, I think you got to sit down if you're Arizona and be like, hey, that was a very good start, and this is something that we have to have more conversation about.
Yeah, I was pumped to watch Carson Beck have that type of evening. Now, we all understand that this doesn't really mean a lot, but in the building, it certainly will. Carson Beck will be getting a lot of love, and I assume more looks. We shall see. They just paid Jacoby Brissett nowhere near what starting quarterbacks are getting paid, but certainly a little bit of a pay increase for what he did last year. He would be a phenomenal backup for a young quarterback. Jacoby has done it in the past. He's been around every single offense, every single system. His leadership's outrageous, so everything could be going good for the Cardinals. And that's what preseason football does.
Yeah,
Yes, it does.
And they lost.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Gotta love it.
Hey, welcome to football, baby. Welcome to football. Shouts at Carolina Panthers. Can't wait to see who they are. Now, the way we watched that game last night, Carson was spinning it. You just talked about LaFleur has a McVay. There's a Shanahan as well system. There's all these different systems that are currently happening. And I think if you ask some of the older quarterbacks, they'd say, yeah, this is the dumbing down of football. That's what this is. And whatever the case, the offenses move in a efficient fashion, and it looks beautiful. Now, Dan, you just shook your head no, and I think what you were going to say is you still have to think or whatever, but I don't think there's a lot of checks to different plays depending upon what the coverage is and the movement is. I think the older quarterbacks, from my understanding,
fucking tired.
Not in those offenses. In the Shanahan McVay tree, there's a ton of pressure on those quarterbacks. They're intellectually that's not the dumbing down. I think the dumbing down a lot is in reference to a lot of the RPO, the run pass option, where it's not, there's not a huge tax on pre-snap, post-snap recognition. I've got to see multiple people at the same time and in different windows. The RPO is, a lot of people know, like you're reading one defender, and that one defender is more often wrong than he is right in your decision. The Shanahan McVay tree and the Kubiak tree, there is so much that goes into the play call I remember hearing stories about how Kyle Shanahan was adding in locations for wide receiver splits, meaning where they line up in relation to the width of the field. I was never a part of that. Like when I would call, some traditional formations, the receivers had to memorize the splits. I have heard stories that Kyle was building into the play call so he would change one receiver split and not another receiver split. So like the task that is on those guys to understand just the huddle and the verbiage of that is a big deal. And then I always like one of the things that I recognized when I was playing with Coach Kubiak was the the stress that is on the quarterbacks in that offense week to week to week, because you might have a play that is out of two tight ends and two wide receivers one week. And then you're going to have that very same play, but out of a completely different personnel grouping and a completely different formation. And I have to forget it by Wednesday and remember a new one by Sunday. So Sam, very similar to last year with Clint Kubiak. And so it is not a dumbing down in this offense. You got to be smart in this family's offense to play that, and then executing the shifts and the motions and then the play design. I would argue that, and you got to control the run game. You're the quarterback that's got to tell the offensive line, no, we're going here, we're going there. Now it's in conjunction with the center a lot, but you got to be able to understand all of that because angles and points and where we're going in the run game change every play. And so I would argue that intelligence wise, if you're running an offense that is from that Shanahan, Kubiak, McVay tree or something like it, you got to be really, really, really sharp. Really sharp.
Oh, like a degree from Cal.
Mother fudger.
Yeah. Thank you. That was a fun time. Now, on all of those notes, go ahead, Con man.
Yeah, Dan, good to see you. To all the points that you just made about NFL offenses, it feels like every year it kind of changes as far as the theme of the entire league. Running the ball has obviously become much more important over the recent years as it was, say, 5, 8 years ago. What do you think that's going to be this year? Do you think it's going to be some sort of tempo? Do you think it's going to be more so, hey, just hold on to the ball, let's control the clock, even though that's important every single year? What do you see kind of the theme of NFL offenses being in the 2026 season?
Yeah, it's a great question because it has changed over the past couple of years. Number one, I think the teams that can be in the pass game the most and efficient explosively are going to be the best. The second, the teams that are willing and capable to run the football when it doesn't matter advantage or not. And then third, I think the teams that in third down and red zone are situationally awesome with their personnel are going to be the best. If you go back to when Patrick Mahomes became the starting quarterback,
one team scores more points than the other team.
Even though it's only like 6 years ago, 7 years ago, it's a totally different game offensively than it is right now. That game was about pace and space. It was about spreading out a defense. It was about getting athletes in space. It was about the RPO game. And Patrick was phenomenal at it. He was the guy that kind of like blew our minds on it. And then as the years have gone on, RPOs have become a little bit less reliant upon, and it's become a little bit more of old school football and traditional run game. A couple years ago, it was getting the quarterback under center and run the football again. Last year, it was usage of tight ends, and so I think the teams. Because here's the thing, Connor. Like, yes, I want to run the football. I think defenses are to a point now where they are putting shells on everything, and we're going to dare you to run the football. And so, can you and will you? We're not going to give you the explosive plays. So those offenses that are capable of doing that run game, but then building those explosive plays, because I do think it's still really hard to just march down the field 4-yard, 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 4-yard runs. So those teams that can build those explosive plays, and then I think the third down matchups, because when Pat got into league, I got into league, it was really about like 3rd and 3 and 3rd and 4, and you had to have people that could win or schemes that could take advantage of it. And so if you're not going to be a team that's consistently explosive, you got to be an offense that's awesome on third downs. I think running backs are going to be huge this year. I think tight ends are going to be huge this year. And mark my words, the teams that are offensively, the teams that are the best in the playoff teams will have very, very few offensive penalties. Because when you play against these teams that play these shells, the Bill Belichick's of the world many years ago, their philosophy was always make the quarterback be patient. They'll get a penalty. All of a sudden, it becomes 2nd and 12, and we'll get them to 3rd and 8, and the drive is over. And that wasn't the case 6 or 7 years ago. And I think that's going to be the 3 standout points. That would be my kind of viewpoint this year.
If they get you in amoeba territory, these guys are all running 4.4s or better.
Yeah, look out.
Everybody on defense is outrageous. You got 275-pound guys running 4.4s now. It just. So if you're getting 3rd and long, I mean, okay.
You're dead.
Yeah, literally. Okay. They got 5 ones that are about to rush the passer. And it's like the old 1 Mississippi, 2. Yeah, it's over. You don't have enough time to get enough yards if it's over 5, 6 yards. Staying on schedule, I like you're talking about that. You talk about all the big personnel at tight ends, 12, 13 personnel. I saw all the tight end university at a wedding. They're all the exact same. They are all the exact same. If they're looking one direction, like if Paul McCartney is singing over there, okay, and maybe Taylor Swift is also up. They're just 2 of the biggest stars in the history. Everybody's looking this way, and you're like a couple rows back. All these tight ends now just kind of look.
Yeah, man.
They all have the same haircut too. It's a very blockheady. We got a fade coming up to the front, and their shoulders are it's all 50 inches.
And Pat, they're all the same kind of player too. Like they're all 6'4", 6'5",
hoopers,
250, athletes in space, good enough blockers in the run game. You can put them out by themselves and they can win one-on-ones in matchups. You can put them in the slot and they can win one-on-ones in matchups. They're great down the field in contested throws. You can utilize them in the play action game. And so like these defenses, that's why I'm such a
That doesn't look like a fade.
These tight ends, because these defenses, okay, well, who do we have to match up with this guy over the course of 70 snaps? Like who can cover him, who's athletic enough, who's big enough, who's strong enough, who's got enough ball skill. I just think these tight ends it's been trending that way. And I think that if you are an offense that you really believe are going to be a Super Bowl contender and you don't have 2 really good tight ends, you're making it harder on yourself. I really believe that this season.
And remember, we just went through the highest paid at each position thing. $19 million is the top for tight ends. And then 42 now is the number for wide receivers. And then if you look at tackle, tackle is $30 million. So they play both tackle and wide receiver. A lot more wide receiver out of a lot of these guys than tackle, but they're still down in the box having to chip and do all the dirty shit whenever it's called upon them. And the pay disparagement still is what it is, which is a part of the entire tight end university. I assume that's going to change.
Tight ends, the women of football, where they're underpaid and underappreciated.
These are number one wide receivers who are also.
There's 3 players in one.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the tight ends obviously are just like lunch pail. Let's show up. We're lucky to be here.
Look at this guy, dude.
Yeah, Brock Bowers is outrageous. They all are. But the pay thing on the salary.
Yes.
It's going to be fascinating to watch that kind of all unfold as we move forward with what these contracts are becoming.
Yeah, we saw it with Gibbs yesterday. It feels like Laporta will be the next tight end that should reset everything.
Yeah, and then maybe but they'll use the comps.
Yeah.
Like, oh, George Kittle, you're 1,000 times better than George Kittle? Okay. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
And then every single time the tight end goes, I love George Kittle. I'm your number 2. I am the option wide receiver, so I need to be paid like a wide receiver. And then they go, nah, you're a tight end, though. Okay, well, I'm down on the end, and I'm blocking next to the tackle. I need to be paid like the tackle. And they're like, no, that's the tackle. The tackle gets paid like a tackle. It doesn't make sense to me what happens with the tight ends and salaries.
They need someone to have a 2,000-yard season like Saquon did with the Eagles, and they won the Super Bowl, and that kind of reset the running back market. It went from I think Derrick Henry was somewhere around 13 or 14, and then Saquon did that, and he goes up to 20, and now all these top running backs are getting 20. Feels like they need that for the tight end market. But I wanted to ask you a question, Dan. There was a team last year,
weird sell.
14-3. Whoa. They won their division. They went to the AFC Championship. And then this year, it feels like they got better, but they are 3rd in their division in odds, and no one is really talking about them a ton. Do you know who that team is potentially, Dan?
Denver Broncos.
I think the best team in football that we're not talking about and should be a favorite in the AFC to go to the Super Bowl is the Denver Broncos.
Hey, ding, ding, ding.
Okay.
Hey, that's right. Hey, way to go, Dan. You
Good
know
work,
ball.
Dan.
Yeah, Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I don't understand how, and I have so much love for the Cincinnatis and the Buffaloes and the Baltimores and Kansas Cities, all that. But Denver was the best team in the AFC last year, and Denver's only gotten better with some of their signings and the addition of Waddle. And the fact that they have a third-year quarterback that is coming off of a pretty darn good season, and he was about as clutch as any quarterback in football last year. They're going to have a top 5 offensive line. They've got pieces on the perimeter. They added a receiver that is a vertical juice guy that Bo Nix hasn't had a player like this. They still have Sutton with his frame on the outside. They can run the football. The defense, everybody knows, is absolutely suffocating. Sean Payton, one of the great coaches in the league. I just sit there and say, is Buffalo better than Denver? Not right now. The Chargers better than Denver? Not right now. The Chiefs better than Denver? I don't think that it's all that close right now. It could be in November when their young players get some, salt under them. Nobody in the AFC South is as good as them outside of maybe Houston. So Denver is
New England.
every bit of. Yeah, New England, very good as well. Good point. Yep. So I just think Denver is a team. Everyone's picking all these teams. I'm like, what about the Denver Broncos?
Yeah, we agree with the Denver Broncos, which
yeah.
is why
They're awesome.
we are big fans of them, and we believe in Sean Payton. So, and we took a little drone trip through their new facility,
Louise.
and then you're reminded, oh yeah, they got the richest owner in sports.
Yeah.
So all those things normally.
The Chiefs are favored, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why Tony. We all have been having these convos. Now, I would like to say I've seen the Chiefs. They look very tight. They look like they are back. They look like a team that really does want to do one for the Gipper here, basically, and obviously remind everybody who they are. So I respect that. They have Patrick Mahomes, so we have to. He's healing quicker than ever.
I could see if they were second in the division, maybe.
Yeah, and then the Chargers. Let's talk about the Chargers a little bit because I'll tell you.
Yeah, Dan. Let's talk about what's going on over there.
What's going on?
I don't like your attitude.
Dan.
I will ask the question about this, please.
Come on, all right.
Yeah, I don't like either of you, the way you're describing it. Justin Herbert's smitten. Sue him. This guy loves a megastar. Okay?
Smooching on the football field.
Not just smooching, showcasing that he is at a place in his life where he is incredibly comfortable to be doing that with somebody in front of everybody. Now, is Miss Beer potentially the greatest human that Justin Herbert has ever met? Possibly.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Is he feeling better and radiating the energy back and forth with the love of his life in the middle of a grueling training camp? Possibly. Is he doing something we've never seen before? Yes. Okay. How do we feel about sitting on the practice field with his lady? Because I want to let you know, this tells me Herbert's incredibly comfortable, incredibly confident, wildly happy, and a dog, because nobody's going to judge him there. So that's how I kind of read it. But boy, there's been people, and you just heard Connor say, this guy's smooching all over a megastar while my quarterback is training his ass.
I don't even know who that is.
God, Justin Herbert is not my quarterback. Is that not what you were saying?
Exactly. I cheer for number 10, and he's the one in New England, not that guy.
Yeah, so Lovebird? Is that what you were about to say there?
I mean,
is that his smoochy face? Is that what you were going to say?
Yeah, smoocher.
Smoocher, yeah. That's what I thought you were going to say. No.
Is that from Home Alone? I caught you smooching
with.
Yes,
it is.
Yeah.
So go and get your no good.
Yeah, she
candy and it down right.
Yeah. Well done, boys. Well
That
done.
was great play, Dan. That was great play out of you. But tell me what you think about this Chargers team. And for me, McDaniel's over there. He said he's going to have to add another wrinkle to NFL offenses. He was the main driver, I believe, especially down in Miami with Tyreek, Waddle, and the incredibly fast bunch they have, about late motions and shifts, who's going where. Everybody tried to copy it and started doing it. And then defenses coordinators caught up to it. They're like, all right, let them all move. We don't care. We'll just sit back here, and then we'll attack afterwards. So McDaniel knows that he has to add something. He thinks he does, at least. Jim Harbaugh is obviously in the best shape of his life, ready to get after it. We appreciate that. And Herbert's seemingly more happy than he's ever been. What are your expectations for the Chargers? Because you just rattled off a bunch of AFC teams that could potentially be better than Broncos, and there was like 10 of them at this point, and nobody's talking about these Chargers as well, other than this guy's smooching some megastar all over the practice field. You think he cares about football? It's like he might care about football more than anybody, and I don't want to do that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I like the Chargers in the division better than I like the Chiefs.
Oh wow.
If you could gamble, I don't know if you can gamble on this stuff, but if you could responsibly gamble for fun,
there you go.
Herbert will absolutely be top 5 in the MVP conversation come Thanksgiving. I would be shocked if he's not. This offense will be a top 5 unit. They're loaded at tight end. They're loaded at back.
I
If
mean,
the
he's
offensive
6, so
line is
yeah.
healthy, it's got a
Tied
chance
for
to
5th.
be top 5 in the league.
Tied for
Quentin
4th.
Johnston has to take another step forward like he did last year, and we all know Ladd's great. I've said this a couple times. If Justin is who's the pitcher for the Brewers? Mizorowski? I don't want to get his name.
Jacob Mizorowski. He'll be joining us actually in about 42 minutes or so.
All right, so
yeah, thank you for that, Dan. Dan, thank you for that. Thank you. He's coming on to 1:30 Eastern.
I think of Herbert a little bit. It's just all gas, dude. Like everything's a fastball. And so Justin's like that for me as a quarterback. Like every ball is just pumped, dude. It's flat, it's hard, it's firm, it's got revolution, like it's an absolute missile. And that's not necessarily the style of quarterback that has been with Mike McDaniel or these types of offenses. We've talked about this. So Mike has been obviously with Tua and had success with Tua. He's been in San Francisco and had success with players like a Jimmy Garoppolo. He's been in Cleveland and had success with players like a Brian Hoyer, right? So guys that aren't these physical phenoms with huge arms that at times wait for guys to get open because they can. McDaniel's always like these anticipatory quarterbacks that throw to spots and I displace this player and there's the void, throw it there. And so how quickly and how well Justin gets comfortable with that, kind of maybe a little bit more of an off speed rather than that fireball all the time, it's going to be huge. If he does, this offense will be phenomenal.
Okay, so can I ask a follow-up on this? And you don't need to, not long speech on it because obviously you just explained that very well there. But couldn't that potentially help Herbert? Because what I heard from you there, as we show highlights of all laser beams.
Yeah.
Great work, Foxy and crew in back, obviously. But is that not a good thing? Because you said he can wait for somebody to get open. So if he doesn't know the reads exactly, because he doesn't know the offense, as it takes him some time, doesn't he have a little bit of a buffer period because his arm gives him the capability to catch up maybe for what he's not able to do versus maybe some of the other quarterbacks that McDaniel has had? Is that an accurate, potential counterpoint about it maybe being a good thing as he tries to figure out the offense as opposed to he has to change the style in which he throws footballs for some of these plays?
Yeah, I think there's a fair starting point thought there. My pushback or answer would be this. One, always remember that in the pass game, timing and rhythm is a marriage that is not only for just the completion, but for the yards after the completion. And so you often want that ball out of your hands at a certain time, not only to get the completion, but to take advantage of the most space that has been created from those defenders to generate yards after the catch. So waiting that extra step. Yeah, waiting that extra step.
Oh, no, Dano, I should have done that.
You're good. That's going to me, yes, sir.
Oh, jeez. Just keep the ball rolling.
Hey, good thing I wasn't saying anything.
I was going to say it was a nice compliment you were doing.
Yeah, that's what I was complimenting you.
First time.
Yeah, but you couldn't help
Oh, wow.
immediately. Maybe work a little bit harder while, you know what I mean? I was saying, so for those that don't know, I was telling the boys, Dano kind of killing right now, you know? And then it's in his ear, and then automatically it's a,
so now we know.
I am killing it, actually. Sorry about that, dude. I didn't know that was going to you as well.
So you want to take advantage of that yards after the catch, and that one step could be the difference between a 12-yard completion or a 20-yard completion.
Hey, some people don't like compliments, man.
They just close crazy fast, and so the window might be open now. That doesn't mean it's going to be open, for 3 clicks. And so a lot of it is just, the understanding that this is it's an art design, and everything is in a certain spot, or everyone is in a certain spot for a specific reason. And so there's going to be moments when he gets away with it, but I think that's going to be the biggest question mark.
Yeah, all right. You did incredible. We appreciate you, Dan. You're the absolute best. We can't wait to see you back on our television every single day. And Tell the family we said hello, pleplease.
Down the shore.
I will. I'm going to go down to the beach with them. You got a shirt.
Yeah. Come on, I'll support. Come on.
You're a good man.
No, you're a good man as well.
I appreciate it.
We appreciate you joining us and throwing yourself into a fire every single time. We do appreciate that.
That's what I'm here for, man.
Hell yeah.
That's right. Fire igniter. Not a firefighter, but a fire igniter. I will certainly run right to a fire and help it a little bit more. Yeah, you're not going to... Yeah. No, he's not an arsonist. That's not what I'm saying. That was a negative way.
Who said that?
Bruce. That was Bruce who said that immediately.
Bruce!
Yeah.
I mean, you're starting fires and then running away.
Chargers.
Well, he doesn't run away. He
doesn't run
right
away.
in there. He stands in there every time, and he gives another one right after.
Oh, yeah, and then he passed.
Yeah, man.
And then he tweets, "Hey, just go, keep trying."
I haven't done that forever.
Haven't done what?
Pouted.
Yesterday we just saw a tweet, did we not? It was early
Yeah,
yesterday.
but he'll spin it like, what, I can't work hard? That's not pouting.
You don't think that I was talking to my life coach and he told me that maybe I just keep working hard and I just thought that other people did.
You think I have a life coach, dude?
We know exactly who it is, actually.
Yeah. Actually, we're talking to him, too, I believe, in the next hour. John Gordon will be joining us.
Oh, shit.
105.
He's great.
Exactly.
Boom.
So, Dan, thank you so much. You're the absolute best. We appreciate you, man. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.
All right, boys. I'll talk to you soon.
Just keep putting in the work.
Baby
Ladies and
Daniel.
gentlemen,
Put in the work, man.
Yeah, trust the process. We do not know if you heard or not, but there is a new athletic director at Purdue.
Oh, yeah. I did hear that. I saw that.
I saw it more so than I heard it.
That's right.
And I saw it a lot. Now, that type of attention can be a great thing. Yesterday, a video came out of the brand new Purdue Athletic Director's press conference that was just a snippet that was 10 to 15 seconds long out of, I assume, a full press conference that has certainly hit the internet in a loud fashion. Purdue, remember, Lafayette, Indiana, just about an hour and 15 minutes north, hour and a half north of Indianapolis. IU, the Hoosiers, about an hour and 15 minutes south of Indianapolis. These two teams and schools and alumni certainly talk shit about each other very loudly out here. The IU fans have been able to be
A lot more ammo.
very loud over the last couple of years, like the loudest potentially in the history of this entire conversation. But the new Purdue AD wanted to let everybody know where he stands.
Every recruit, every current student athlete will hear this message repeatedly. We are here to win championships. If you don't want to win championships, go to Indiana.
Okay, everybody heard that. And immediately they say, this guy has no idea. I actually heard conversation on TV saying, this guy, athletic director at Purdue, 2.5 hours away from IU, did not know that the IU Hoosiers won a national championship in football.
Yeah.
And until somebody said that publicly, I didn't even think that could be possible just strictly because Purdue-IU's relationship. So we reached out. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, the new athletic director for Purdue from Rice. He was the athletic director there previously. Ladies and gentlemen, Tommy McClellan.
Yay!
Tommy, how you doing? Thank you for joining us.
Hey, I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me, Pat. Huge fan. Appreciate you having me on the show today.
Hey, thank you for joining us. I had no idea that people thought maybe you didn't know that Signetti is currently the head coach of the IU Hoosier football team. Legit, I didn't even think of people thinking that. There are people that think that. And then there's a lot of people that think like, oh, he was shit-talking IU, and then now this has become a full national story, and obviously in this moment he looks like the biggest doofus of all time. That is the angles that have kind of happened.
Sure.
How do you kind of respond to that? And what was the kind of attempt there as you deliver a quote that has been heard by every human seemingly in the country at this point?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, obviously I know that they won the national championship. I was at the game with my youngest son. I'm there. But to your point, I mean, listen, what makes college athletics great is rivalries, right? And I'm having a great day yesterday, giving our vision, sharing what we're going to do here at Purdue, how we're going to set the standard and raise the bar for what's possible. And, you know, I made an offhand, unscripted comment about an in-state rival that didn't land well, okay? And I knew it the second it left my mouth. But at the same time, I'm also trying to establish what a standard is going to be like here at Purdue. in order for us to achieve the things that we want to do. And you got to send a message to your fan base. But listen, I play golf. I'm sure you play golf. Hey, every now and then you line it up on the first tee and you're really excited about that round and y'all put it right into the water. Okay. So, hey, Pat, I got to put it back, tee it right back up. And I got 18 more holes to play.
Breakfast ball. Yep. I like that. Put that thing down there, and let's go ahead and hit the fairway. I appreciate you explaining yourself because you are talking to your base. You're not talking to the entire country. Purdue creates astronauts, engineers. We're talking like super geniuses.
Train conductors.
Conductors coming out of Purdue. Drew Brees, obviously, from there. Matt Painter, the head basketball coach. And Coach Cignetti, when he gets to Indiana, he walks around and realizes that maybe everybody doesn't think like as big as he does. So he gets a microphone at a basketball game and he goes, basically talks about Purdue first, which is the biggest thing. And then he said Michigan and Ohio State too. And everybody was like, this guy is a doofus.
Easy.
Why is he doing that? And now they're national champions. I assume that you were trying to maybe rally the Boilermaker fan base and also people in the building about expectations of sport, because I don't know if that is necessarily something like the basketball team. They love the basketball team, I think, because Indiana is basketball state. But I don't think they're like expecting Purdue sports as a whole to be great. Is this something that you're trying to change? Like, what is kind of the thoughts?
Yeah, it's just, this is an incredible opportunity for us to reestablish what can be possible here. Listen, when you have 600,000 living alums, so the 8th largest alumni base in the entire country, and 55-ish thousand students on our campus, that gives you a critical mass of opportunity to do something special. You're in the Big Ten Conference, and you have an incredible coach like Matt Painter who's doing a remarkable work. We want to make sure that that standard that he has set in this department permeates throughout the entire, all sports, okay? And so while the one-liner, I would say it this way, listen, while the one-liner joke that I gave yesterday about an in-state rival, come on, man, it's an in-state rival, it didn't land well. But I can tell you this, Pat, that we are going to build programs here that are better at winning championships than I am at one-liners.
Okay.
There you go. Well, there you go.
Now, they're going to say the bar's very low for that after your one line yesterday. But I would like to say the lines you've delivered us today, we're very grateful for. Thank you for explaining the entire situation. And also, I don't want to immediately do this, but 8th largest alumni base, not bad.
Pretty good.
Not bad. IU's got the number one.
Keep building that thing.
IU's got the number one.
We got to keep growing.
Hey, can you tell me, though, about the academic? I mean, there is some limitation. Everybody talks about Northwestern, obviously. Northwestern in the Big Ten, super academia. There are others. Big Ten wouldn't take West Virginia for some reason because of academia. But Purdue, actual astronauts, like this type of thing. You're going to have to find your type of players, right? But it sounds like everybody's kind of rallied around the fact that you're going to. And if we as a show can have 2 dynamic sports teams within 2.5 hours, life is good for us. So good luck out there. We're pulling for you. But what do you think is all possible?
Yeah, I think it would be a disservice to Purdue and to its fan base to say that that we're going to put limitations on ourselves on what's possible. And again, listen, the part that I'm disappointed in about yesterday is that comment took and distracted off of what the real goal here is, and that is beginning to set our eyes for what's possible for Purdue. And I don't want to say that we can't have success in any sport at any level. And so we want to make sure that every Boilermaker out there recognizes that we can accomplish great things when we all work together. And we've got incredible coaches. We've got incredible staff. We got a great administration and board, and we've got real momentum here. And so, yes, while yesterday was a little bit of a national news story, we also want to make sure we keep the main thing focused, and that's the opportunity that we have at hand.
And on that note, all 500,000 alumni, we need you. Okay, if 500,000, you all give 100,000, you start doing some math. Guess what we got? Left tackle.
Natties.
We got a guard. We got it all. We appreciate the hell out of you for joining us. Good luck.
Indianapolis Reds, I got to take these donors out so I can raise this NIL money. Give me your top 2 or 3.
Oh, I got you. Tommy, you're the man. Good luck. We'll see you next hour. Goodbye. That's awesome.
Belle Sessions, who got here at 3 a.m. this morning, was the winner. Her ticket was pulled, and you thought to yourself immediately, what, Belle?
I knew I couldn't do it, and he was next to me, and he said that he could, so we're splitting it.
Okay, so Belle Sessions made the decision to talk to my man, Henry
moment. Now, Henry, you told her that you could make it. Why do you think that's the case? Have you ever kicked a ball before?
I've kicked the ball before. I've played soccer my whole life. I think I can do it.
This kick is for $150,000. You said you would split it in half, right? Okay, so let's make it $200,000. If you make it, you will both get $100,000. Where are you from, Henry?
I'm from Fishers, Indiana.
Who's your favorite NFL team?
The Colts?
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Come on, bro. Hell yeah. To hell with the Falcons. That was rude. They didn't deserve that. I like that. Henry, 33 yards, $100,000 for you, $100,000 for her, $200,000 to hurricane relief, $400,000 on the line. Henry, are you ready?
Of course.
Have you ever said anything bad about kickers?
Of course.
Shut up. Let's go. Now, here in Athens, Georgia, it would be beautiful if $400,000 would be up for grabs. Why don't we double it because the Georgia Bulldogs? So, $800,000 kick right here, Henry. But what I want to let you know is you're not getting a second opportunity. I don't care if this entire place starts chanting for a second kick. One kick, 800,000 racks, 400,000 to hurricane relief, 400,000 to you two split, 200 grand each. Henry Silver from Indiana for Bell Sessions. Let's go, Henry. Oh my. Henry, come in, buddy. Come in. Let me see this, Henry. That was amazing. I mean, he walked in like, Henry! Congratulations, Henry! Congratulations, Bell! Dude! Congratulations, Georgia! What a morning! College game day's the greatest! College football's amazing! Bell, you just won $200,000. You're
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. You pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the DraftKings Thunderdome. On this Feel Good Football Friday, August 7, 2026, hour 2 of the program begins now. Football is the best. We're fresh off the best Hall of Fame game in the history of Hall of Fame games. Does that mean, as an indicator, that this football season is about to be the best and biggest of all time? I'd say with a resounding amount of support around all of the football community.
Yes.
Yeah. Football players are better.
Yeah.
The sport of football is better.
Right.
The coverage is better. The angles are better. The way the sport is played is better. It feels like this season is shaping up. Let's go to one half of the hammer. Don. Cowboys, Bubba Gumpino. This season's shaping up to be what there, Gumps?
The best season yet.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
Well
And
done.
shout out to McQuaid with his Irish accent, calling that 2 years ago. Now, he was just a little bit of ahead of schedule because the last couple of years have certainly been wonderful. But what's about to happen this football season is about to be the greatest of all time. And last night, I think, was a good display of that. We had young players making plays. You know, everybody's mad about the NIL because it is causing some sort of chaos. But these players playing in college for 100 years gives them a lot more experience of ball. They're handling money. They're handling success. They're all in the spotlight. They all have a platform. So all the things that rookies used to have to deal with all at one time has kind of been happening since high school for a lot of these guys. Carson Beck's been in a big stage, big moment. He's been ridiculed. He's been embarrassed. He's been shit-talked. He's been all these things already by the time he gets to the biggest stage in ball and in the world, to the NFL. So these games that used to be a little jittery, maybe let's work this thing out. Yeah, right. These guys have been millionaires for a long time.
True.
These guys have been on this stage. This might be the best preseason yet.
Good
This
point.
might lead into the best NFL season of all time. And college football is reaping the same benefits. These dudes are much more mature now. These guys are much more used to the outside expectations. Nutritionists and dietitians have gotten a hold of all of them. None of them are booze bags like some of the boys used to be. All of them are locked in. Some of them do play a little bit of video games and all these other things that I wish they would do stuff differently with their time. But it feels like the modern athlete's much more mature, much more informed, much more bought in from an early age because they have a team of people around them since they're like 13 or 14. So maybe this will all add into better ball, better sports across the board. But what I think it definitely will do, Bubba Gumpino, say it with me, it's about to provide the best season yet. Talks the table at Boston Connor and at oh wow, he's gonna be so mad.
Oh no!
My-
Oh no, man!
Sorry, Ty. Wow. Ty Murphy.
Ty's having a rough morning as a dad right now going on. He's got a lot happening.
T-Bone. Boom.
Yeah.
You, brother, you.
Mind meld.
All right, Bone, good to see you, pal. Thank you for sitting in the talks table.
Yikes.
You're a big-time Chicago White Sox fan, yeah?
Yeah, grew up.
Loser.
Fourth generation Southsider.
Yeah, Munetaka Murakami couldn't even...
Nope, 0 for 6.
He didn't do shit, brother.
Last night, they're saying it's the best MLB game that we've had thus far, and it's also leading a story of the Boston Red Sox literally going from last in their worst league in baseball to now having the longest and best streak that the Red Sox have ever had in their history. Now, Red Sox have won a lot, obviously. This is a historic franchise. What the team has been doing over the last 35, 36 games has been different than any Red Sox team in history. And last night, it took 13 innings to get the job done, and they were down for the majority of it, and their gritty toughness from that Revolution region showed up, and the boys are buzzing, I'd say, Con, man.
Yeah, big time. And usually this is the time in the year where it's like, hey, baseball, thank you. I appreciate you getting us all the way to the Hall of Fame game. You can kind of, take your rest. Your watch has ended. But at this point, it's like, hold the phone. Here we go, baseball. We're about to get into the most important time of the season. I'm still all the way in. I can't believe that we're damn near in mid-August. August 7th is today, and I'm still this hyped up about baseball. Like, there's a game tonight, and I care. I want to watch the Oakland A's versus the Boston Red Sox. And I think we're doing a little bit of a, hey, everyone picking a home run hitter tonight because there's a no-sweat bet on DraftKings right now. Yeah, there it is. You can just opt in and up to whatever your kind of unit number, which is how much you bet on per bet, basically. And I think, yeah, everybody has their own. I know I'm taking Wilson Contreras for the Boston Red Sox. I know Gumpy is on another Boston Red Sox who will definitely hit a home run. Shohei Ohtani, I don't know who took that one.
Me.
Yeah, that's probably a safe one as well. I maybe jump on PCA. There it is. Boom. Yeah, Gump's on a Brady. You're on Shohei. I'm on Wilson Contreras. Tony on Bryce Harper.
Yeah, I feel good about it. The wind is blowing out in Philly tonight.
Okay, obviously, if you are of age and agree to not be an asshole and gamble responsibly, you can come join us on DraftKings, the best sports book on earth. There's a no-sweat bet where if you lose, you get your money back in bonus bets. You won't just be able to cash it out. You'll be able to utilize it again for another bet. And, yeah, Shohei's going to go dong-dong tonight. Sure. He's going long dong-dong tonight. I mean, that is what Shohei does.
Yeah.
And him and PCA are kind of battling. And PCA, I'll tell you what, he might hit a long dong too. I mean, these boys are trying to win the MVP. They still got 70 games left.
No,
I know.
6 weeks.
How many games? 20?
6 weeks.
So I gave up last week, so I'm not as dialed.
Oh no.
See, the Buccos, they did their job. They got me to training camp, like Connor just said.
What happened? We're the worst. We were up there.
Yeah, we've been on quite a schneid since the All-Star break.
All right, well, that all goes back to the World Baseball Classic. We still would like other players from America to play as hard as they possibly can, but we don't want Paul Skeens ever do it again.
Yeah, he's done.
No.
Who? We did?
What?
Oh, yeah, Bruce, you can
Yeah,
say that.
last week when we did this no-sweat bet thing, we hit 2 home run winners.
Boom.
So
I was
we're
not one of
staying
them.
hot.
I'm kind of due, but baseball, remember, you hit one three.
Sal
Yeah.
Stewart.
That's all it takes.
AJ had Sal Stewart. He hit it off of Paul Skeens, and I had C.J. Abrams of the Nats. He hit one as well.
Hey, so Shohei, let's go ahead and get to work tonight, and good luck to all these lads. And you can pick whoever you'd like, and just know baseball's still bringing it, which we respect and appreciate. But obviously, football, fresh off the Hall of Fame game, is going to be hard not to just talk about. Joining us now is a man from Ohio. He's a man who's a college football national champion, Super Bowl champion, Ryder Cup winner. Ladies and gentlemen, live from an attic in Ohio, AJ Hawk.
Yeah, I'll go.
Oh, good hair.
Yeah.
Good hair today, AJ. Good cut, pal. You look fantastic. You're glowing as well. I know you've been outside coaching 3 different teams that you're kind of overcommitted to, you said, but you look fantastic. Thank you for joining us. Are you excited about today on this Feel Good Friday or not?
Yeah, of course I'm excited. We had great football last night. That was a legit, real football game. I think when you're thinking about that first game, the Hall of Fame game, you just want to see them get in and out of the huddle. You want to see some healthy operation. Guys know what they're doing, and I think we saw that and a lot more. Obviously, Carson Beck, Haynes King, they kind of stole the show, but I was impressed, man. It was actually a fun game to watch.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and the quarterbacks were just running an offense. I remember a couple years ago, I forget which quarterback it was. We complimented the fact that they were able to get in and out of the huddle. Remember, it was a rookie quarterback, and I was like, this guy looks like a pro. He's handling the huddle. He had a couple completions.
C.J. Stroud.
It might have been C.J. Stroud.
Against New England.
Yeah, it might have been C.J. Stroud, because what was coming out about him was, remember, the golden standard test.
Yes.
That he wasn't going to be able to handle the
C2.
NFL. The C2.
Cognitive test.
Whatever the test was, yes, about his brain, and then everybody was like kind of dogging him. So in the first preseason game, we, who were very supportive of C.J. Stroud, had to find some positives. The positives were look like a professional quarterback. Got in and out of the huddle. Things were moving smooth. You remember this, AJ?
Yeah, honestly, it sounds funny, but you can't take that for granted. These guys have not been doing it that long together. So, yes, I think it's real.
That's what we were selling at that particular time, because that is what we were impressed by, and we like C.J. Stroud, so we like that. Last night, Carson Beck's making checks. He's making checks. This is a rookie quarterback making checks at the line. Not the first quarterback selected. Nowhere near it. He's making checks at the line. And then Haynes King, he's spinning it and then running people over. And then it's like, oh, do we have better quarterback play across the board, or is this just an anomaly last night at the Hall of Fame game? Mike Tirico said it's by far the best preseason game I've ever been to. It's like, is the state of ball better right now, AJ? I think so, which potentially leads to, Gumpy, if you could, please.
The best season yet.
I like that. Was a good one.
There's a chance, AJ. That's how excited I am on this overreaction Friday after the Hall of Fame game, AJ.
Yeah, I mean, I saw your tweet, that you will not overreact to one preseason game. I saw it over and over again, like Bart Simpson used to do on the whiteboard at the opening of The Simpsons. Yeah, I mean, it is hard to not overreact, but yeah, why not? Let's see what the rest of the games have in store. I'm guessing they all won't be as clean as this one was, but I think it's a great start for the NFL in general.
I think so, too, and I like that positive mindset.
Yeah.
Especially on this Feel Good Friday.
Well said.
There's people out there that have this incredible ability to be able to get others to believe in themselves and buy in on the impossible that is actually truly possible.
Yes.
Joining us now is a man who, I don't know the proper phrasing, so I don't want to either undercut or overstate.
Sure. Overpromise, underdeliver.
Well, I think that's probably in one of his 19 New York Times best-selling books.
Yeah.
He is a mind mechanic for many of the NFL's leaders, college leaders, business leaders, CEOs, you name it. This man is bringing the best out of the best and joining us on this Feel Good Friday to maybe try to do that for all of us.
Would love that.
Ladies and gentlemen, John Gordon.
Yeah, John!
How you doing?
Great to see you guys. Great to be with you.
God, you look fantastic. I'm gonna be okay. So I'm looking right over your shoulder. No offense, as you just get on here, I made eye contact with you. That looks like a Clemson Tiger. So is there a chance that you are currently in Clemson, or do you just have posters of all the teams that you have spoken with around the office?
No, that is funny, Pat. That's awesome. No, I'm with Clemson, speaking to the team tomorrow. Came in a day early just to spend some time with the team, listen to what they're saying, the messaging. Dabo's speech today was on fire. I've never heard him more on fire than this morning with his talk to the team. It was powerful. I was fired up.
Okay, I like that, because you're the guy that does the firing up. So you get fired up by the team that you're getting fired up by. That's a lot of fire. I mean that is in a volcanic amount of lava in that room. So maybe we change the way we think about the Clemson Tigers.
Exactly.
John, you're with Dabo right now.
Yep.
Traeger told us last week about your work with the McVay tree. I do believe in a lot of the younger coaches around the NFL. And then I look into you, I get into a wormhole of John Gordon, obviously 19-time New York Times bestseller or whatever, and keynote speaker, not whatever, but you get it. That's just so many times of delivering a message of like, hey, here's how you should think. You're leading a lot of humans that are leading a lot of things here in the United States of America. So I think it would be a good time to just kind of learn. So what do you do, John? Like we tried to figure it out, and I've watched some of your videos on Instagram, but why are like NFL coaches coming to you, do you think? Why are college coaches coming to you? What do you think you're able to provide? And should the Plum High School Mustang football team potentially be doing the same thing? I'd like to potentially get you to go meet with them.
I'd love to. And I've heard from a lot of high school coaches as well that use my books. But at the top level, I wrote these books years ago. The Energy Bus was my first book. Jack Del Rio read it and had me come speak to the team. 2007, they beat the Steelers in the playoffs. They go on a run, and then Mike Smith becomes the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. So he says to me, hey, I want to do the same thing that we did with the Jaguars. I'll have everyone read the Energy Bus. I went and spoke to the team. Matt Ryan was a rookie quarterback. This is how long ago it was. And year after year, I was just invited to different teams. Mac Brown brought me into Texas. Colt McCoy was a senior that year when they played Alabama when he got injured. And Colt and I have been friends ever since. And so what happened was over the years, writing these books, working with these coaches, working with these leaders, I saw what great leadership looks like. I saw what a great mindset looks like. Colt was actually struggling in senior year with the pressure, asked me to sit down with him. He was really my first client, and I had never worked with a high school athlete before or a college athlete or a pro. It was sitting down with Colt, and I realized, oh, I have something that I could share that will help these guys. And over the years, I've just developed my own frameworks, my own formulas, my own pattern for success, and just ideas come to me in walks. I am a man of faith, and I get a lot of ideas, and then I'll share it with these guys, and I'll help them have a higher state of mind instead of a lower state of mind. So it really starts at the mindset level. You have to have the right mindset, as you know. You got to have a winning mindset. If you believe you can accomplish a lot, if you don't believe, you will not achieve anything. So it really starts with that real belief, not like fake belief, but real belief. And then what kind of culture are we creating? And then we help formulate and create the culture. So that's what I did with Liam Cohen. We sat down, we literally formulated and built his culture from scratch, like a blank piece of paper, and we built that together, which was so much fun doing that. I've recently done that with a couple NFL coaches as well since, can't share who, but that was a lot of fun with those guys too. And then I did it with Mike McDonald, actually, when he first got the job with the Seahawks. Did it with him. Did it with Eric Spoelstra, the Miami Heat. So over the years, culture, but then leadership. How can you lead at a higher level? How can you lead with principles and practices that will get your team to perform at the highest level? And then how do we build a team that is connected and committed? That's my secret sauce right there. Connection and commitment. And when you have that, you have a team that will actually perform at a higher level.
I just saw that in Hard Knocks. Actually, Coach McDonald gave a speech about the Bulls and then talked about the key ingredient to success in the NFL is connection. And obviously, you said you worked with him. You're a year off, though, remember, because his opening team meeting, he said when he first got hired, the first time he addressed the Seattle Seahawks, he said, I want you to close your eyes and envision something with me. Okay, it's the NFC Championship game. It's here in Seattle. It's rainy. It's cold. It's, I think he says, shit or hell for them. Perfect for us. And then obviously they would show that in his second year, they go to the actual NFC Championship. It is kind of raining. Yeah. It is a little chilly. And then obviously he leads his team to a Super Bowl. You talk about Spoelstra down there in Miami, a lot of success in there. So you are a mindset mechanic, okay, if that is an accurate depiction of what you do. How do you decide to become that person? Okay, because there's obviously a lot of these types of humans on the internet now. There's obviously a lot of, you heard it, snake oil. It was said in the back there. There's a lot of snake oil that happens in there. I know you played 4 years lacrosse at Cornell. I know that you're a former athlete, college athlete. How do you decide that you're going to go into being a mind guru, and how do you not become the person that everybody talks shit about in that particular field, if that makes sense?
Because there is a lot of stuff being talked about who do this, and there are a lot of frauds. There are a lot of snake oil salesmen, and so I totally get that when people talk about that and say those words, I go, okay, well, we just got to show that this is the real deal. But as you said, Pat, when you work with the best of the best, and they are using you, and they are benefiting from the work that you do and you have proof of concept, then you know this stuff is real. But I got to be honest, my teammates like Vino cannot believe what I'm doing now. I was a mental wreck in college. Like, I was not the mindset guy. I was the guy who was fearful and worried and anxious and stressed all the time. I was a 3-year starter, but man, I don't think I ever enjoyed playing because I never loved the battle. So I teach guys all the time now how to overcome their fear by loving the battle. Love competing, love the moment, love the battle, love the opportunity. And when you're focusing on love, fear dissipates because love casts out fear. So that's like my simplest strategy and technique. When I work with a quarterback, an NFL quarterback who is struggling, we get back to the basics of just loving that battle. And that changes everything. So I wish I would have done that. So a lot of what I teach is actually what I wish I would have known. And so this quest to get better myself has led to a mission to help others get better. Because my wife almost left